Shine, wild ones. It's Bernadette. I'm here with your pick a card tarot reading for Saturday, January 23rd, 2021. Wow, I don't know if y'all are still feeling the energies from yesterday, but it is, wowzers, it was quite something. And so it was a little mysterious to me that the Queen of Wands has shown up for you all inverted today, but not mysterious. What I mean is this. So when you take a look at the traditional meanings, tarot card meanings of the Rider-Waite, Queen of Wands card, it's all about like fun and self-expression and creativity, and she's just mastered the art of loving life. She's a visionary, and Pisces is in this card, and the back of her throne, it's the tarot card is orange, and that symbolizes prosperity, the sacral chakra. And today, though, is the third eye chakra, right? And the ruling planet is Saturn. And so when I take a look at all of that beauty and all of that light and all of that with that great, great, great wisdom, I'm really drawn psychically to the experience of nighttime and the experience of a full moon, which is coming up next week. And I just, it's mysterious, but it's not mysterious. And what I mean is this. When you take a look at the reverse Queen of Wands in the tarot, it's a call to wake up, wake up, wake up. And so I feel like many of you have been having really intense dreams. I feel like you've been having synchronicities that are just so in your face that you're not totally ignoring them, but it can be, listen, as many of us that are metaphysicians and spiritual, we're light workers or whatever, label you ascribe, if you do ascribe a label, it can be hard when the going gets tough. Or it doesn't even have to be tough here. It could just be a really large decision to be made. It can be a little scary to just totally trust what you're getting psychically, or you just happen to see this video on this day and the animal is the Black Panther and the tarot card is the Queen of Wands inverted, which also means you have the challenging aspects of Black Panther, right? It can be tough to believe that. Now, interestingly, I had a reading last week with a gal. She lives in another country, and the shipping for the ARC deck has just been, through the holiday, through COVID, through this, it has been really challenging, and people have had to wait a really long time to get their decks, even though I send every deck almost priority, right? I'm like, I want people to have it. I want a tracking number. This woman waited several months, and I know many of you did, and thank you so much for your kind patience. So I was just about at the point I was just going to send her another deck, and then she had a reading, and sure enough, the very animals that came through for her deck showed up on the same day she had a reading with me, and then she pulled out the bookmark and she sent me this email. She's like, oh my gosh, we were just talking about this. And I was like, oh my gosh. Because as much as I work in the middle of, magic, in the midst of magic every day, it's still magical to me. So this card on this day is really asking you to receive messages here with your third eye. Because if you think about it, the third eye chakra the color is a deep indigo, which is a nighttime color. And night is usually associated with lots of negative things. But that's only, it doesn't have to be that way. You can get what you need from both the light and both the darkness. Darkness can bring you so many things, right? Like if you take, for instance, a Kundalini awakening. The Kundalini is the serpent energy that comes up through your chakras. And, before you're awakened, you do live in a kind of darkness. When you have that kind of awakening and you see this world for what it is, and you see yourself for who you really are and others for who they really are, and you understand that psychic energy, the ability to do mediumship, read runes, read cards, just all of that kind of thing, foretell the future, have precognitive dreams, all of that, and your pull towards that, there's nothing boogity boogity about it. There's nothing like some mystical, magical force bonked you on the head and said, poof, you're special. Now go forth and be magical. It doesn't happen that way. I can't prove that to you, but I don't believe that's true. I believe it is our divine right. It's what we're born to be. It's how we are mechanically hardwired to be. That's it. So in that darkness of night, in that darkness of you haven't awakened yet, is the message for today that really is all about loving life, loving your life, loving other people's lives. But here's the thing about that. When the Queen of Wands is inverted, she is very much asking you, again, to wake up and smell the coffee as regards the divine feminine. Now, that there are a lot of fellas that watch my channel, right? Or at least that's what my analytics say. I don't know anything about most of you other than what it reads in my analytics, the age range, the this, the that. But I don't I don't really pay attention to that. And the reason I don't pay attention to that is it doesn't tell me who you are. It doesn't tell me that. Because just because you show up as male or female or a particular age in what Google thinks you are in my analytics, what does that mean? What does that mean? Nothing. Nothing. Not to me anyway. And I'm a numbers person. I'm a total geek. I'm not good at math, but when it comes to analytics and all that, that stuff fascinates me. You know, the way people interact with each other and, you know, how they gather information, although that's another rabbit hole to go down that I won't go down about privacy and that kind of thing. But I don't know, 3/4 of you women out there could lean more towards traditional masculine energies. You know, 3/4 of you men out there that identify as men or identify as women or, you know, whatever, you could have these kind of tendencies. So this message is about the divine feminine, whatever that means to you. Not what traditional meanings mean, not what judgments mean, who you should be, who you shouldn't be. But it is for you to wake up again and smell the coffee. And in this particular instance, there's some uncomfortability that you're having with the divine feminine. It could be mommy issues, it could be sibling issues, it could be that thing inside of yourself. Maybe you're trying to figure out your own sexuality. Maybe you know it, but you're afraid to voice it. Women tend to be, meaning the female energy tends to be more comfortable with intimacy of all kinds. That's a stereotype, and those stereotypes are changing all the time. Or, well, that's not true. They're not really changing. It's just that people are becoming more comfortable being who they really are. So that if you are, you know, a big, strong, jug-headed Marine kind of no-neck type, okay, my ex-husband, or one of my ex-husbands, you just may completely come apart if you get a kitten or you see a puppy, or you see what I mean? There are no real clear boundaries or guidelines or anything really anymore. And that's part of what this is calling you on this day to see here, to see past what people are putting in front of you, the type that they are, or the feminine qualities that they have or don't have. They're calling you to see that inside of yourself so that you're free to be whatever you want to be, because inverted or not, when you talk about a Black Panther and this queen, okay, they're no joke. Even inverted, even when there are challenges going, they're no joke. And it may actually be the opposite of this. It may be that you are showing so much raw sexuality, raw, um, just raw, that slinky, she's on a manhunt, turn it around, something like that. Maybe you need to dial it back a notch, but only a notch. And so if you've been being kind of persecuted for that, like wearing that on your sleeve, it's time to stop being persecuted about that, because the only person that matters in their opinion is you. Now, I'm aware this reading today is different, but I don't think I really see that it dovetails on yesterday's reading, which was Pinky and love, and it was all about the love, and it was just all about that. But this is kind of the next evolution of that, because again, this is about intimacy and seeing things with your third eye clearly in the darkness, and seeing that in darkness there is so much positive that can be shown, like at night or whenever you sleep. At that moment, you're in a complete darkness, and the information that you can get from your dreams is crazy. I'm going to paint with a wide brush, but I assume most of you have heard of lucid dreaming, where you control your dreams. You are an active, like consciously active participant in the unconscious. And so if you don't know about that, I would invite you to read up on that, because the intel that you can get is pretty amazing. Now, if you talk about what a panther means, well, that's, again, there's that nighttime correlation. They're black, they hunt at night. They are really ferocious creatures, And I won't say I have a lot of experience with being around Black Panthers, but I have a fair amount of experience being around the big cats, lions, and tigers. I don't feel Black Panthers the way that I feel lions and tigers, meaning, do I absolutely know that the big cats would rather be free, totally free, and not in an enclosure, no matter how wonderful the enclosure is, it doesn't matter. I know that they would. But, they're really just 500 and 600 pound domesticated kitties in a way. But I just don't get that feeling from Black Panther. None of them that I've met anywhere in this country. I really get the feeling they cannot be tamed, period, end of story. That's it. They don't like being there at all. And so that's another call on this day. If you're feeling like you've got a block, if you're feeling like you really want to increase your psychic awareness, but you're in the dark, this is the day to really work on that. This is the day to really unleash yourself, not allow yourself to tame yourself or allow anyone else to tame you. No, don't be in an enclosure of any kind, and just set the intention of, I'm just going to explore. I'm going to stay safe psychically, and I'm going to explore. And I really would encourage you to do that in the nighttime hours when it is dark, when there is that hush here in the United States, at whatever, time zone you're in. And, I'm a big fan of doing third eye work outside, because you don't have the same feeling when you're outside that you have when you're inside. Even if you live in a big city, and the best outside you could get is on your little BT balcony that's outside of your little teeny tiny apartment, okay, that's still outside. And there will be, I keep hearing pop, 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 pop. And as I'm looking around the country, I'm watching I'm sorry, I'm talking to my dog now. I've gone off track because she was barking. What are you barking at? We're having this whole conversation. Okay. I just see these little lights going on. And what that tells me is, from this reading today, you guys are going to experience some incredible openings in your third eye. And you're going to use Panther energy, the energy of the night, the energy of the Queen of Wands inverted, to find that strength to do that. So Man, make sure that you come back and you tell us in the comments below what kind of awakenings you had, what kind of things that you experienced when you worked through this, when you really sat and meditated or thought about it or set the intention and then moved into the energy that you get psychically. Let us know. I think it's going to be really profound. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and definitely, definitely today of all days, stay wild.